Many things in life get better when we double them. You could double your money, you could double your fun, you could double your burger, you could double your album, or you could double your guitar. Well, I'm not too sure about that last one, but I know for a fact that 99% of guitar players love it when they can double their overdrive. And that's exactly what you can do with this, the Tone City Double Durple Dual Overdrive pedal. Now this is a collaboration between Tone City and the marvellous Danish Pete of Andertons fame, and it's a continuation and a double sizing of his original Durple pedal. Now on the Double Durple we have the Durple on one side, and we have a modded version of the Tone City Bluesbreaker style pedal on the other. So this is a supremely affordable option. It'll set you back between $100 and $110 or euros, or about 90 Great British pounds. So pretty much any guitarist is going to be able to afford this pedal. But how good is it? Well, that's what we're going to find out in this video. Now I'm going to start by telling you about the specs and features of the pedal, then I'll play it in as many different musical styles as possible, and at the end I'll offer up a few of my own private opinions about the Double Durple. Tone City sent me this pedal a few weeks ago to make this video with, and there is quite a lot to say about it. So timestamps to all of the different parts of the video are going to be down there in the description and the comments if you'd like to move to a part of the video that you need to see first. But let's kick it off with those specs and features. So like I said, the Double Durple is very, very affordable, and because it's a collaboration between Danish Pete and Tone City, we know that it should be very, very decent indeed. Like I said, we've got two sides to this pedal, and the first side here, the first in your signal chain, is going to be the modded Bluesman side, called the Double in this pedal. Now this being a Bluesbreaker style of pedal, it's going to be fantastic for transparent lower gain overdrive tones, but wind up the gain knob and it is going to get pretty gnarly too. We've got a pretty standard setup here: volume, gain and tone controls, and a really extremely bright red mini toggle switch to move between smooth and bright modes. Now on the bright mode you're going to have a lot less low end, you're going to have more cutting high end, and the smooth mode is going to be much warmer. You're going to hear both of those in the playing part of the video in a second. Now the layout of this pedal means that you're always going from the double side into the Durple side. The Durple is of course based on the original Tone City Durple pedal. The Durple pedal was based on the Tone City Mandragora pedal, and the Tone City Mandragora pedal was based on the Lovepedal Kalamazoo pedal. That's going to be another low to medium gain drive sort of a pedal, again with great transparent tones, but with a slightly thicker mid hump as well. It's a really nice smooth sounding overdrive pedal, and the two of them should stack really well together. Again, we're going to hear that in a second. But on the Durple side, again, we have a volume, gain and tone knob and a mini mid-frequency knob, and this really lets us sculpt the mid-frequencies in our tone to our personal tastes. Otherwise, this is a very simple pedal, in and out here, and this is where you plug in your 9-volt power supply. There's no room for a 9-volt battery on the Double Durple. So we've got a Bluesbreaker style side and a Durple style side. They should sound great on their own, they should sound great stacked together, and we're going to hear all of those now. Now my rig for today is going to be the rather wonderful 2025 Ibanez AZ Standard HSS model, so you're going to hear a range of humbucking and single coil tones too, and we're going to be running the Double Durple into the front end of my Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200 amplifier. I'll have the amp set to a very nice neutral clean setting with just a tiny little bit of spring reverb going on as well. But that's it. All of the drive tones will be made by the Durple, and we'll start with some clean boosts and gradually up the gain until we've got both sides on, stacked together, and we're tuned down to drop D and trying some heavy metal, because why not? I think the Double Durple should be able to get us there. Let's put that to the test though, and we'll speak in a bit more detail afterwards. Okay then, so that was the Tone City Double Durple dual overdrive pedal, and I hope you enjoyed the playing, the riffs and the tones. I would love it if you could leave me a comment telling me what you think of this pedal. Are you a fan of the Double Durple? Do you need a double-sided overdrive pedal, or are you happy just with a single overdrive pedal or your amps drive? Let me know your thoughts down there as ever, and I look forward to getting a bit of a discussion going. But now it's time for me to tell you my thoughts and opinions about the Double Durple. Like I said in the intro, Tone City sent this pedal to me to make this video with, to stick it on my board and generally have some fun with it. And that's what I've been doing these past few weeks. And to start by talking about the things that I like about the Double Durple, well, I've been playing it a lot because it sounds fantastic and it's incredibly versatile too. No matter what kind of overdrive you're looking for, you're pretty assured that you're going to get it with the Double Durple, unless you want really, really heavy stuff, of course. But anyway, the two sides on this pedal work really well together. They work fantastically well on their own too, and I would really recommend it for anybody who's looking for an all-round drive pedal to cover 99.9% of your basis. Now, I think most of you will know the sounds of the Durple already. It's going to give us some lovely low to medium gain drive tones. It's thick as well and can get a nice mid hump going on if you play with the mid control too. And it's wonderful for classic rock and blues rock. It's great for the indie and alternative rock that I love as well. It does some higher gain, gnarlier tones too, and wind down the gain and you get some lovely sparkly pushed cleans too. Now, the other side of the pedal running into the Durple is the double side, which is the Bluesman, the Bluesbreaker side, and that is a much more subtle pedal at first, and it's darker and warmer too until you wind up the tone, until you wind up the gain, and probably until you switch it to the bright mode as well. Once you start to do that, you get some beautiful, thick, sparkly clean tones, some really nice transparent overdrive tones too, and once you wind up the gain to about 3 o'clock, it gets pretty nasty and grainy as well, and I mean that in a good way. So you've got two great, similar yet distinct overdrive tones too. Stack them together and you get wonderful, thick, hard rock tones, punk rock tones, and even metal tones too. I think with a slightly higher output humbucker than the one I used in this video, you could really do some proper, decent, chuggy sort of stuff with this pedal. So it's a true all-rounder in terms of its versatility, and I love that about it. It sounds great, and again, for that price, for $100, for £90, it's really, really worth it in that sense. So what else do I like about the Double Durple then? Well, for that price, it represents excellent value for money, in my opinion. And in terms of the build quality for this price, it feels fantastic too. Really, really solid, gig-worthy, road-worthy, very durable indeed. And I think the one slightly flimsier part of the pedal is the bright red mini smooth to bright toggle switch. Perhaps that's why they made it bright red, so you could exercise a little bit more caution with it. Now, it's not a true weak point or anything like that, but just be a little bit careful with that part and you'll be just fine. So there's a whole lot to love about the Double Durple then, but what about those things I perhaps don't quite like so much? Well, there's not much really. The one thing I would say is that as you wind up the gain on this pedal, it does have the propensity to get a little bit noisy, especially when you're stacking both sides together. But that's all part of the rock and roll fun, and you get that with affordable overdrive pedals. If that's going to be a problem for you, you can treat it with a noise gate or with a high quality humbucking pickup as well. And the other thing that I'd mention is, well, this is more of a wish than an issue with the pedal, but if they're ever going to make a second version of the Double Durple, I'd love it if they could stick us in an order toggle switch as well, so we could run the double after the Durple if we'd like to do that. That's going to be a personal taste thing if it works for you or not, but having that extra option would up the versatility of this pedal even more in future. But apart from that, nothing to fault it on whatsoever. So this is a wonderful little pedal really, but what if you're watching this video and you're kind of wondering what other affordable dual overdrive pedals are out there? Here are just a couple of my favorites, which I would recommend. I'd start by going even cheaper than this and checking out the Joyo King of Kings. That's about $60. It's a King of Tone style clone pedal. I've got a video on it elsewhere, and it is a wonderful option if you like that sort of thing. Now, if you want that sort of thing, you could also try the King of Blues by Tone City. That's another great option as well. And if you want to stay with Tone City, you could go for their Model M, which is a Marshall style of pedal, or you could try their Holy Aura or their other dual overdrives that they have too. Check them out at the links below. And if you wanted to spend a bit more money, you could try something like the hugely underrated Electro Harmonix Hot Wax, or you could try one of the excellent pair from Nuex. They have the Ace of Tone and the Queen of Tone. Both of those pedals have a Bluesbreaker side, but one of them has a Tube Screamer side and one of them has a Clon style side, so you can choose your preferred flavor and go from there. That's the thing about dual overdrive pedals though. You can really kind of find out what style of drive you want and find the pedal that does the best thing for you. At the end of the day though, I'm a huge fan of the Double Durple, and this is totally going on my board. Now with this Bluesbreaker side and this Durple side, it covers 99.9% of all of the overdrive styles that I would ever need, and I've got my Rev G3 for everything else. So if you're someone who's got about $100 going spare and you want to add a very, very versatile overdrive pedal to your board, I would say definitely take a look at the Double Durple. It's going to be a great option, and you know when Danish Pete puts his name to something, it's going to be A, fantastic, and B, purple as well, and this ticks both of those boxes very, very well indeed. So I hope that this video has answered all of the questions that you may have had about the Double Durple, but if there's anything else you'd like to know, drop me a line down there in the comments and I shall answer you to the best of my ability. And if you're still around, it would really make my day if you wanted to give this video a like, or maybe even sub to my channel, because that really does help. But that's been it for today. I've been Rich, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.